And we are live. It's another great day for Cribble TV. We're so excited to have this live stream. Start calling this Demo Thursdays. We're going to show off the latest and greatest, the best features from Cribble's tool set, the data engine for IT and security. Today, we're having a continuation of our last live stream. We're going to talk about Cribble Copilot. Again, making hard task easier. That's the name of the game. And so, just thrilled to have the owner, let's see, I would say you birthed Cribble Copilot, Nikhil. You're the man, you're the genius behind it, and so we're really excited to have you. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed. Very kind words. Hey, everyone. Nice to be here today. Thank you, Ed, for hosting me. I'm Nikhil. I lead engineering and product for Cribble AI at Cribble, and I'm based out of San Francisco, and I'm excited to show everybody what we have cooking today in terms of Cribble Copilot and just all kinds of cool things.
Yeah. So what are we going to do today? What are you going to show off?
Yeah. So I thought it'd be interesting for us to go over sort of a DevOps use case. So you have a web server running on Amazon. It could be anywhere. It could be on Brazil. It could be on Amazon. It could be on Microsoft. And you have logs that these web servers generate, and you want to capture those logs, and you want to do things to those logs. You want to transform those logs. You want to collect those logs. You want to store them somewhere. You want to look for information. If there's confidential information in those logs, you want to redact that information. You want to mask it. So I wanted to sort of show an end-to-end demo from how we are going to set that entire thing up using the Cribble suite today.
That's great. Especially I really like bringing Edge into the mix. So let's get started.
Okay, let's do it. All right. So what I did is right before we got started here, I set up a quick Nginx server on AWS ECS on their Elastic Container Service. It's a stock Nginx. It does not have anything. It's literally just Nginx running. So let's first check it out. And so you go to tasks here, and then it should have a network binding somewhere. Sorry. Let's see, tasks. And networking. So it has a public IP address. Let's pop it open. So this is a stock Nginx. It doesn't even have HTTPS. And there's nothing on it. But it's generating access logs, and you can see those access logs if you go into one of these AWS CloudWatch things. But obviously you don't want to use CloudWatch. You want to store that data in your own bucket. You will maybe use Cribble for that, storing that data. So we're going to try and capture those logs and pull them into Cribble. So how do we do that? So let's see. Let's navigate into Cribble. So this is my Cribble installation over here. And I'm going to use Copilot and ask it, how do I capture logs from AWS ECS and pull them into Cribble? So this is a little Copilot chat over here. I have never fired this query, so I'm curious to see what it tells me. Right, so Cribble stream. It's telling me how do you can run a Docker container, or you can set up Cribble stream and use HEC, or you can use Cribble Edge as a sidecar container using AWS ECS. So I'm going to go with that because I love using Edge. And the way maybe I'll let
1 second. So let's just let for the uninitiated, Cribble Edge is Cribble's agent option. So highly manageable, easy to use. So just keep an eye on this because it's a great way to show off Edge's manageability features.
That's right. Edge is it's an agent that you can install on your Windows host, your Linux host, your ECS. You can run it as a sidecar on ECS, and it can monitor all kinds of logs for you and all kinds of information and send it up the wire. I also want to take a quick minute and show everyone how did I get this little Cribble Copilot chat over here. So what you do is you go into your organization's settings page, AI settings here, and you enable Cribble Copilot. We touched upon this earlier in the week when we did our last stream, but none of our AI features are on by default. So you have to opt into these AI features. And also, a quick note: we don't do any sort of model training and those sort of things based on your data. So this is purely a product that's the goal of this product is to make your tasks easier and to assist you in what you're doing, whatever the job you have to be done.
Yeah, but we're not data mining your data.
That's right. We're helping you manage
Right.
your. All right, cool. So Cribble Edge, you can run as a sidecar container. Okay, this is this is a lot of documentation over here. Let's see. I have a fleet over here. I'm going to try to see there's no ECS option over here, but maybe there's some information over here. So let me copy that, and let me again go into Copilot.
It's just that's the way to install the Edge node.
That is the way to install an Edge node if you
Right.
have a Docker available, which I don't because I'm on ECS. And,
Right.
I don't have a Linux box either, since this is all serverless on Elastic Container Service. So,
Right.
yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask Copilot and see what it tells me. So, okay, help me with the envars.
So what are env vars?
Envars are something that I just saw over here, which were to configure the container, you must first set these following environment variables. And I think this is something that goes into your task definition on ECS. So if you go into the dev cluster and you look at the tasks that we have or the services that we have, this service has two tasks in it. One is Nginx and one is Edge. So I did add the Edge container over here as a sidecar right before this, but it's not configured and it's not really doing anything. I don't even think it's running right now. So the goal is to get it running, and the goal is to capture logs. Cool. So let's go into this cluster here, and let's look at task definitions. And this is my task definition here, which is really it's really easy. It has two containers in here, and I guess if you go into sort of create a new revision, it becomes a little more easier to understand. So infrastructure requirements, it's running on AWS's Fargate, which is their serverless compute solution. And container one is Nginx, and it's literally just the image here is Nginx latest. And it's running on port 80 TCP. And then we have some logging set up, and then we have the container 2, which is marked as a non-essential container because it's for observability. And all I've done here is just I put the name of the container as Edge, and I put the image URI as Cribble latest. But it's not working right now, so we need to get it to a state where it is working. And I think the way to get that to work is to add these environment variables over here. So add a variable. How does that sound so far?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and this is, I think, a great use to help use Copilot to help figure this out.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's scoot back over to Copilot, and required for setting Edge up as a sidecar. It's doing its thing. Under the hood, it has access to the entire documentation corpus that we have. A lot of notes from the field in terms of how do you set up these things, and it has all that information. So it's using that, and it's using generative AI under the hood to produce these answers for us. So let's see. So it needs these three variables. Okay, can you print out these bars for me? I'm just going to give it, the thing that we copied earlier from this modal over here. So let's see if it just makes that job a little easier for us.
That's awesome. It laid out all the variables for you.
Yeah. Print out the values. Let's ask you to print out the values because I'm lazy and I don't know what to select. Okay. I guess we'll have to live with this. So here you go. This is the first value here. So I'm just going to copy this. And okay, the key is over here, and the value is this guy. And then I'm going to, it's a managed installation, which means it's going to be managed from Cribble Cloud, and you don't have to sort of like worry about upgrades and what you're asking Cribble Edge to monitor and all those sort of things.
Sure.
Logging into the host, which is kind of nice. All right, so there you go. We have these three values here, and up next, I'm going to go right at the bottom and say create. So task definition Nginx 10 has been created. And now I'm going to deploy it by just updating the Nginx service that I had running.
Neat.
Cluster, there we go. Update this. Right, so that's gonna spin up for a couple of minutes, and hopefully if everything goes well, we'll just start seeing the Edge node report back, and we'll just sort of like see it right over here.
Yeah, say a small prayer to the demo gods.
That's right. Ed, do you want to tell us more about Cribble Edge, or do you want me to sort of talk about Cribble Edge here?
Yeah, let's just talk a little about it. So anyone who's tried to manage any kind of agent collection scale truly understands that what it means, just it's time consuming, can be a little painful. And especially in large enterprises, that getting your agent, just getting your agent updated can take a lot of work. It's like where the place I used to work, it was something like we were lucky if I could get it updated once a year. I'd have to engage 30 to 40 infrastructure teams, 30 to 40 tickets, 30 to 40 packages, assigning someone to validate. It took a lot of time, took a lot of my team's time. It was just painful. Edge has a great update mechanism. You go into the UI, you pick your fleet, you say upgrade, and it'll take care of that for you. And so it makes just a lot of pain just go away. And it has built-in monitoring. It has built-in deployments. This is something that what's great about Edge is you don't have to learn some pick your language, YAML, JSON, whatever, and it helps guide you through your, look at it. Hey, the demo gods are being kind to us today.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's the idea is like, you get visibility and just to everything. You can help solve problems. You can troubleshoot. And that's another thing, like just troubleshooting Edge. So we're going to do this soon enough with Edge. We're going to do some demos and show that off, but it's a lot of fun. It's really powerful. And it makes something that's painful a lot easier.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the updates thing is such a big time saver. Like you don't have to like bother with getting access to the machine and sort of like downloading a new binary. All of that is just managed. I mean,
Exactly.
just installed Edge, so it's running on the latest version. But if it was not, then it just gives you a little pop-up here somewhere, and then you just click on it, and then boom, off you go.
And configuration at scale is so much easier.
Yeah.
Especially you can assign junior admins to run this, and that way your most senior people can be focused elsewhere.
That's right. So check this out. So we have Nginx and we have Edge running. I guess they switched up the IP here. This is a 44 series IP. So I'm just going to close this tab, and we have a new IP address because we provisioned it doesn't have an elastic IP or like a DNS host name created. But yep, so I'm just going to refresh it a few times so we have access logs being generated. And then I'm just going to click on this node and just explore what's on there. And one really cool feature about Edge is you can go into files and you can sort of like just browse what's on the.
And this is really cool. Just want to emphasize, happens all the time. Someone says, "Hey, I want you to monitor something," and you find out that the file is not there. And then with another tool, you're going to have to reconfigure, find the file, get access, do another push, do another deployment. Where with Edge, you can look exactly at the file system and find exactly what you want.
Yeah. And in this case, we're all about logs. So I'm going to go into var log, and then there we go, Nginx modified 2 minutes ago. So I can just browse my entire file system over here without even having to like go in or something.
Yeah, and I love the button in the upper right hand corner. Monitor this file.
Oh, there you go. Let's monitor it. and you
Hey,
you
can
see
you
those.
can you can you hit the cancel button?
Yeah,
To want to show something.
exactly.
So, for my brethren who sometimes have to leave files out on the file system, and you just need a one time collection, so you see you have an option to monitor the file or ingest the file. So if you have some
Right.
random file that's sitting on your file system and you need to ingest once, there you go.
There you go. It's super powerful. Well, in this case, we just want to like monitor this file
Yep.
continuously. So I'm just going to click on this and Nginx logs, uh, discovery mode manual. That's cool. Save it, and then it already exists. Okay, I think this is one where I had done it. Maybe I should do something else here. Yes. All right. And this is we are sort of like on the edge node over here, but let's back out of here and go back over here and go into monitor or rather collect, and then let's look at what we have over here. So this is all out of the box stuff for getting started with Windows or Kubernetes or what have you. But let's look at Nginx logs, which is something I'd set up prior, and I'm just going to capture it over here, and let's
Yeah.
look at
And
the
I
log.
love this especially because validation is always a problem. And so this just makes validation so much easier.
Yeah, and it's instant. Like, look at that. I'm just hitting a refresh, and it's just pulling those logs right here.
Yeah, and you're looking at
Yeah,
it on the agent side. So this way you can then step by step have it all the time where the agent's working fine, but something in the middle is not working or something on your system of analysis isn't working. So
yeah,
we're going to show you how I can validate my agent is collecting the right log and it's sending it to the right place.
that's right. Cool. So we have that agent wired up. I already made this file over here, but maybe let's. Uh, should we remove it? Should we make it again? Or should we
Nah,
just
no, that's fine.
okay?
Let's move on.
Let's look at let's look at what we have over here. So let's just validate that the logs are also going.
Right. And now you're checking your destination. So you're checking your
Yeah.
input and now we're checking our destination.
And this is a Cribble stream destination. So if I go over here, I have Cribble HTTP set up, which is literally the same Nifty Raymond organization that I have here, and this is just going over HTTP or HTTPS into Cribble stream. So there you have it. So now you have logs going into Edge, and they're being forwarded into Cribble stream. So what I want to do next is I want to get out of Edge and get into Stream and look at what I have here. Let's see. Let's go into quick connect. And so this is the Cribble. So on Edge, we saw Cribble HTTP out. Out here, we see Cribble HTTP in. And I just want to look at what we have over here. Live data. Okay, let me just refresh a few times.
And this gives you the ability to validate the middle.
Yeah.
Now my aggregation layer is working.
Mm-hmm. And Stream is the perfect place for transforming these logs, doing what have you with these logs.
Because can you do me a favor for one second, hit stop, and so but go back and hit where you can then validate different parts of the pipeline.
Yep.
So when you're doing a capture, you have the option to say, I want to see the raw data coming in, I want to see it post pipeline, I want to see it at the end. And so it's just
sorry, we're
yeah, you guys got to hit stop.
There we go.
Yeah, and so this is like that right there. So now I can see before it hits the pipeline, before it hits the route, after it hits the pipeline, before it hits the destination. So it helps you troubleshoot with precision.
Absolutely. And this is I was just playing around with this, but this is we can sort of like send it to dev null for now, and look at that portion of it later. But what I want to do is I want to, let's say, as a popular DevOps use case here is, people are putting confidential information. Let's say somebody's putting their password as query parameters here, right? And then if you look at your live data over here, you're going to see that. You're going to see those. You're going to see stuff like this getting logged, and that's just that's not nice. You don't want this sort of stuff being logged here. Or it could be anywhere else. Maybe it's an authentication token that's being logged. Or
right.
So what I want to do now is I want to use, or I want to just redact this information, or I want to do things to it. So I'm just going to capture a few logs here.
And Akil, could you do me a favor? Move the slider for your Nginx over a little bit so we can see more of the Stream UI.
Yes.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes. All right, so let's stop this capture, save it as a sample file. So uh, access logs, capture. All right, so I'm going to save that sample file, and then let's go into the heart of Cripple Stream, and let's look at that file over here. So you have this plain text, query parameter being logged here. So let's see. Let's create a pipeline. So I'm going to say add a pipeline, and then I'm going to click on add pipeline with Copilot. Now, if you have gone into settings and if you have enabled Cribble Copilot across your organization, you should be able to see this. If you haven't, then you're not going to see this. But then if you don't see this, and this works on-prem as well, by the way. So if you don't see this and you want to see it, you need to go into your settings page, accept the terms and conditions, and just turn it on. So let's see. Test one. Oops. Save it. All right, so now we have this pipeline, and this is how you build your pipeline with Cribble Copilot. So let's see, this pipeline should, well, first I want to just, let's say, redact query parameters from these access logs and see what it comes back with. All right, let's see what happens.
Well, can you pull up the validation? Because that's another,
Yes.
it's a good place for people to see. You know,
Yep. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you see where the little pencil mark is? Yeah,
Yep.
right there.
There we go.
And just that way you could see you could see exactly what's happening.
There we go. And if you want to use something else over here like XXX, then you can do that as well. So if you look at the logs over here, it shows you instead of password, it shows you redacted. It's also like a good entry point, right? I mean, if you wanted to, retain, you want to just retain the password field, or you just wanted to get rid of the password field,
right?
And you can also put it this way. It just sort of like makes writing regular expressions a little bit easier by coming up with all the boilerplate for you.
Well, especially with the regular expression challenge like myself. Could you also show the class the in and the out, because I think this is a real important where you have that true ability to see here's what the original, here's what my change look like, so you understand the scope of what you're doing exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Maybe I want to just extract out the query parameters. I don't want them in my raw event, but maybe I want them as an extra field. So let me try to do that. So let me get rid of this first, or maybe let's how do I do this? Okay, let's disable this one maybe, and then add a function with Copilot and eval query parameters into a separate field. Maybe I need to delete this and sort of like start over here. All right, let's click go. All right, so in this case, it's adding, it's doing the regex extract. So let's see what comes out of this. I want to ask it to eval this instead.
And why would you do that?
Let's say I just want to like hold on to the query parameters before redacting them. So I want to redact them in my raw event, but I want to sort of like have access to those.
Sure.
So I'm just going to sort of like back out and maybe make a new pipeline with Copilot, and then sort of like start from the beginning here.
Yep.
Nginx test 2. Eval out query parameters into a separate field. Let's try it one more time. Otherwise, we'll just redact it and put them in. Query parameters, save. does not like that. Let's just go with the redaction use case that we had earlier.
Okay.
Demo gods are not being kind now. All right, let's take a look at this. It's redacted. All right, go and then save it. Cool. So you have these logs redacted. So I'm gonna come back to it and sort of like try to see whether we can extract them. But for now, this pipeline is all set. So I'm also going to generate a description for this by just clicking this little icon here. Redact parameters by applying the masking function to the raw field. All right, perfect. So let's go back into Quick Connect, and let's write this data now, or let's. I think it was Nginx test 2 that we did. So save it, and then let's capture.
Oh, but are you doing it after the pipeline or before?
I think I'm doing it before, and then I'll switch to after.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we're seeing these password logs here, or passwords being logged. So stop it, and then capture before the destination.
Yep. Look at that.
I still see it over here. Maybe the capture. Maybe I need to capture it on the destination.
He's got to capture it after the pipeline.
Ah, I see. Oh,
yeah.
Over here.
Well, what? Maybe go back and check and make sure you're using the right pipeline.
That's a good point. Let's go back here. I have so many pipelines. Yeah, this one looks right. Nginx test 2.
Yeah, just test it with your file though first.
Let's look at that. Access logs. All right, so it's right over here.
And did you commit and deploy?
I did not. That was a missing step. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. So let's commit.
Yeah. So where's your change record?
All right. So let's commit and deploy this change. And we have an exciting new feature coming next month where you won't have to type a commit message over here. It will be, Copilot can offer to generate a commit message for you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. All right. So let's see if that is.
Yeah, now I'll do a capture.
I think it's deploying the changes.
Yeah, it's still deploying the changes. And also, I think just do it with where you're showing people to use the drop down.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
Yeah, that's just a key piece. Yeah, so let's validate that it's coming in. There we go. Now let's change it to after the pipeline.
For the destination.
Yep.
There you go.
Look at that. There we go.
So that's being redacted now. So
very cool.
I'm just going to drag and drop this to my. So I got access to Lakehouse earlier today, and I created a Lakehouse here, and I'm going to create a new data set here.
So was it for the uninitiated? Lakehouse is a new product that we just released, and it gives you the ability to query data in our Lakehouse product at lightning speed. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I got so excited that I got access to it that I didn't even tell people what it is.
What is Lakehouse? Like everyone wants a Lakehouse, yeah.
Nginx logs, and I created a data set called.
Yeah, so let's there you go. Pick that, but let's just show people what this is. So this is the starter piece for Lakehouse. We're creating a data set for the uninitiated, for people who may work in other tools that we're not going to talk about necessarily, like an index. So this is a good way to reference this. So you can reference. See, you have a nice slider for retention, which is a lot of fun. You have you're setting your formats, and also we're going to start talking about accelerated fields too.
That's right. So when we created this data set, I explored, creating another data set earlier, but this is the Nginx logs data set that we're going to use. And did I? Yes, I picked my lakehouse here, and then I'm going to go to lake home. Mm-hmm. And now if I go into Cribble Stream, I should be able to see this. I should be able to see this lakehouse. So let's see. Let's go to Quick Connect. Yep. And let me add a destination, just like this one here. Cribble Lake, add new. And then I'm going to call it Nginx logs. And lake dataset is Nginx logs.
There you go. Look at that.
This is the one that we just created. So it may take a few minutes for it to sort of like warm up and get set.
Yeah, but it's just nice that it's all integrated together.
Absolutely.
Now we got one more step.
Oh yeah, I know which one. Let's connect it.
You got to change that too.
Yeah, let's connect it to Nginx logs, and then let's commit and deploy. All right. And then let's see if I.
Yeah, it's still going across the workers.
It's going across.
It's still rolling across the workers.
Yeah, it's still rolling on our workers. Yeah. Let's take a look at the lakehouse meanwhile, and look at the Nginx log, and then I just.
Yeah, this is great. How one click and you get to search it.
Right. And obviously there's nothing here because things are still rolling out.
All right. Yeah, and once we have data, it's stupid fast, so it's cool.
Yeah. So okay, so it's here, and now I'm going to generate a few more logs, and then go into where was that window? I guess it was this.
There you go.
Thanks. I noticed it takes like a couple extra minutes for the first few events to start showing up in your data set.
Right.
But then it's pretty quick after that. Then we have this pipeline here. Kill that. There you go.
Here we go. Look at that.
Stuff is being redacted. Now, you want to go back and sort of like don't redact it, just make it pass through and commit and deploy, and then you'll start seeing all the clear parameters again. Like as simple as that. So there you have it. So we sort of ran Nginx on ECS. We used Edge as a sidecar to collect the logs from Nginx. We send those logs over to Stream. We built a pipeline using Copilot to redact sensitive information. And then we send that data to Cribble Lake in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's really cool, especially like being able to use Copilot for this. So can you give a little bit of insight to the class about, how's Copilot going to expand in the near future and long term?
Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah, so right now, you saw how we sort of like went and transformed this data. We sort of like explained to Copilot what we want to do. Something that I'm really excited about that's coming out pretty soon is support for or native support for schemas. And what that's going to look like is you bring in a source data, right? So like this is a source data, for example. And then you just bring in a target destination, like stuff that you want these logs to look like. So it could be an OCSF HTTP activity format, or it could be something else. Like if you're sending data into a different SIM, and maybe they need like a few different specific fields, like source and source type and what have you. Then you just tell the system how you want your data to look, and then we'll figure out the transformations that are needed to make that happen on the fly for you. So that's something that I'm really that the team is sort of like working hard on right now, and we're hoping to release that in the next coming few weeks.
I'm looking forward to it. So for the audience, if you have things you want to see in Cribble Copilot, let us know in the Cribble community. So cribble.io/community, sign up for the Slack channel. I think we got about 6,000 users right now. But just, share what you want. Feedback is a gift. We're here to help. Our focus on Copilot is just making all the products easier to use, smoothing out the rough edges. And so just let us know what will help you do your job better. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to close up. And Nikhil, any closing words?
Yeah. So if you look at Search Home, there's a visualize button here that I'm just
Nice.
going to leave it at that. I'm not going to click on it, but maybe that's something that we should dig into in a future session.
Oh yeah, you're coming back soon.
All right. Thank you, folks. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for everyone's time. Please let us know what you think, and also during the live streams, don't hesitate to ask questions. We are here to answer questions. All right. Thank you. Have a great day.